What is your relationship with Letecia Stauch?
That's my sister.
Pretty tough for you being here right now?
Yes, sir.
Hang in there, all right?
Why, Tisha?
Before we get into today's video, I do want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope everybody has had a wonderful week so far. We are on Wednesday and hump day, and we are also on technically day 7 of the Letecia Stauch trial. Now, I have been collecting my notes and things that I wanted to share with you guys, things that I just found super interesting. I mean, there's a lot of phone calls that have been recorded, and you guys can go and listen to those. I can't remember if I told y'all about that in my last video or not, these phone calls. In my opinion, they are long and drowned out, and the girl goes on and on and on talking about nothing. Have you ever, like, when you listen to these calls, it just makes you wonder, ugh.
Gannon's always barefooted because that was something that he asked me. Even taking the trash out, things like that. He took the trash out. He stepped on something in the garage. So my car parked. You had those boards that were underneath my car, right?
Yeah.
Gannon was going to go help because he was saying that there was some kind of piece out there that was going to help me. You know the little zip ties that you have on things and it's hard to get off?
Yeah.
So he knew where something that to go pop this off. So he was going to go get it because I had bought them some things from the clearance store.
So there's more phone calls. They've showed the body cam footage from the police from when they came there and walked around the house.
Because like his wallet, he's not like I teach 5th grade, and like, you know, you got your like really, really mature kind of boys, but then waiting, he forgets to like bring this or bring that or bring this or bring that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But some of the testimonies that really stuck out to me so far was the brother who testified yesterday. Oh my goodness. And then the neighbor, you guys, the neighbor like basically set her up, made a fake account and kind of reeled her in. Letecia was asking her to lie. It was all this mess. I'm going to tell you guys all about that. Also, we're going to talk about what the medical examiner had to say after they examined Gannon's body. And even a fake polygraph test. Yes, a fake polygraph test. So just a quick rundown. If you guys have not been following this case, I do have other videos on it. I made the first video back in 2020 when Gannon went missing. 11-year-old Gannon went missing from his home in Colorado, according to his stepmother, Letecia. Now, well, she ended up saying that he went to a friend's house and didn't come home. Long story short, after a bunch of lies, after a bunch of sending the cops down the wrong path, she was arrested for her stepson. Now, they arrested her before they even found Gannon. And then later, a few weeks later, he was found in Pace, Florida, where she left him. Now, something that I would like to say about this so far, it's very clear when you listen to these recordings of Letecia or you listen to the conversation she's had with people, in my opinion, she has been manipulating people so long in her life that she really thought she could get away with basically anything. It just makes me feel like Letecia just manipulated and lied for so long, and she's one of them people you can catch her in something red-handed and she will gaslight you to make you think you did not see what you saw. So let's start off with the neighbor that came to testify. Now, the neighborhood had this group Facebook page where they would go on there and just talk about different things, if they were gonna have a yard sale, if somebody's dog pooped on someone's yard, or door, you know, even to the point that if like people were knocking on the doors to sell solar panels, they would like alert each other and let everybody know. Well, this neighbor had actually had her teenage niece that was coming to live with her. And so she posted on this Facebook page asking if anybody had any like teen girl clothes around that size that they didn't need or want and that they could donate to her. This is when she ended up getting a Facebook message talking about these clothes from a name of Harley, which was Letecia's daughter. So this neighbor's talking back and forth to Harley, thinking she's talking to this Harley girl and she's getting ready to get clothes. Well, Nicole, the neighbor, told her, just leave the clothes on my porch, thank you so much. But when the person brought the clothes to the porch, they actually knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, and so she had to go answer the door. And this is where she met Letecia face to face.
She came to the door, handed me the clothes, and then we just had a conversation. It was a little weird. I didn't know her. I had never met her before that. And I was kind of off put first because I thought I was meeting a Harley Hunt. And it obviously wasn't, but she didn't introduce herself as to who she was. And it was just kind of weird because I didn't know her and she was kind of just talking to me about life stuff and like we had been best friends. So it was a little off-putting, but
Then she talked about her next interaction with Letecia, and this is when Letecia said that she was going out of town, and she reached out to her and said that her 17-year-old daughter Harley would be home alone. Could her teenage niece come over and stay at the house some with her to kind of help take care of the dogs and so she wouldn't be alone?
she needed to go to a training and had asked if my teenage niece wanted to go over and basically watch the house, but also hang out with her teenage daughter.
And this is when the neighbor said no. She said the reason why she said no is because she didn't know her. She wasn't going to send her niece over there to just hang out at somebody's house with her teenage daughter and nobody else is there. But nevertheless, that was the next interaction. The next interaction that she had with Letecia was when the neighborhood Facebook page started talking about the fact that Gannon was missing. And she said her and her husband immediately went out and joined the search groups to look for Gannon. And this is when she realized that Letecia wasn't out there searching for Gannon. Everybody else in the neighborhood was, but she was at the house, and she knew she was at the house because she could see her coming out on the porch to talk to the cops every time the cops would come. She said that at first, I guess she didn't really think that Letecia had anything to do with it until time went on and she continued to look for Gannon and she was crying and they were out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. She said they were covered in mud from head to toe looking for this baby that they believed was missing. So as time went on and I guess she started seeing all the stuff on the internet, she saw the interview that Letecia did with the media. And do y'all remember the infamous interview? That's when she had her back turned to the camera and would not show her face.
Community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community. I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home, and of course I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the family when I was kind of like told I couldn't. And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, you know, and in doing the investigation I was told I wasn't complying.
Just to get off track just a little bit, somebody else that testified was one of the people that was over this media source, and they talked about this interview, and they talked about how when they asked Letecia if there was anything that she wanted to say to Gannon, she said something, and then she said, wait a minute, can I redo that? I want to redo that again. And they told her, yes, but watch this clip and watch how she changes after she thinks about how she's sounding and is a totally different person. Y'all check this out.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
Isn't that a mess, y'all? Talk about red flags. I mean, hello. Anyways, so this neighbor said that after she saw that interview is when she became suspicious of Letecia. She said she actually had reached out to Letecia online and asked her a couple questions like when was the last time she had seen him, where she seen Gannon last, and Letecia blocked her on Facebook.
Night that he went missing, I had sent her a message. I cannot remember what I said in it, but I remember it was something trying to get information like where we should be looking, and she blocked me immediately.
Now, what mother, stepmother, auntie, neighbor, basically anything, whose child is missing and your neighbor's just trying to help you and you block them? That seems suspicious. So what she did is she created a fake Facebook account and she befriended Letecia. So after she wooed Letecia and got her on her side, this is when Letecia started trying to manipulate her. But I'm watching this woman testify thinking, Letecia could not play a player. You know what I mean? Like, she could not manipulate a manipulator. This woman was already getting her. And Letecia, like she always does, in my opinion, thought she could weasel out of a situation and manipulate this woman. And so she basically started asking her, without asking her, to lie for her. Now, the reason why Letecia was asking her that is because at this point, Letecia had changed her story like 3 or 4 times. The original story was that he went to a friend's house. Okay, he went to a friend's house. He was supposed to be home by 6. By 7 o'clock, they couldn't find him. They drove all around everywhere. They could not find him, and then he was missing. The next story was that somebody broke into the house, raped her. Y'all, it really went from this to this. Broke into the house and kidnapped Gannon. Then there was another story that he got injured on a bike and that, Gannon went to the man's house and while she was going to go and, call for help or something, and she trusted this man that he was going to help Gannon and he disappeared with him. I mean, it was all of these crazy stories of what happened to this baby. So now she's basically asking this neighbor to lie for her second story and say that she saw somebody leaving out of the house that day.
Going along the lines of what I think she wants to hear.
And how did she respond to that?
I need a witness that the guy left. I will do anything. I'm not asking you. I'm asking if you know anyone who will. I will give them my life, a reward, whatever. Anything to get them to expand the search.
The next thing that was so monumental to me, other than the fake polygraph test, and we're going to get there too, oh my goodness, was the brother testifying. Now, when the brother was called to the stand, he is her little brother. He is 14 years younger than her, and he is her half brother. So that is her mother's son with Letecia's stepfather, who passed away years ago. He talked about his relationship with his sister and that, she was so much older than him that he remembered seeing her on all holidays. He loved his sister. He thought she was very smart. She thought she was very smart too. She was a strong woman, But obviously with that 14 years age difference and Letecia leaving when she became an adult, they didn't get to spend a lot of time together. So he probably saw his big sister as like, wow, she was very athletic. She played softball. She played basketball. So he really loved his big sister. So when he got up on the stand and he was asked to point her out, he immediately broke down. Check this out.
What's your relationship with Letecia Stauch?
That's my sister.
Pretty tough for you being here right now?
Yes, sir.
Hang in there, all right?
Why, Tisha?
Mr. Lowry, do you need a moment?
Take a break for a moment.
They ended up sending the jury out, and then they let him, gather his composure, and they brought them back in. And this is when he said, and you guys, oh my gosh, basically, me putting it in my words, when Gannon went missing, she called her family and was telling them, like, the police down here, they're suspicious of me. They think I did something. I would never do anything to them. So Letecia's mom, her grown adult brother who is married and has his own family, and Letecia's aunt flew over to Colorado to be supportive of her. And they just could not believe that anybody would look at Letecia like she had done something wrong or like she would do something to Gannon. So they came there in protective mode to Letecia. And he said that when they got there, they were kind of aggravated with the police because the way that they were treating them, like they were all suspicious.
And how did you feel about being at the residence that morning?
Just aggravated.
And why were you aggravated?
Because I felt like we was getting looked at as criminals.
Is that because they were looking at your sister as a criminal?
No, they was looking at our whole family. It wasn't just her.
And I believe in my heart, the reason why they felt that way is because Letecia was like this to them. Oh, they think I'm doing this. So it already put it in their minds. So anything the cops questioned to them probably sent off like sensors, like, oh, they think we're all in on it. This is what happened, you guys. Letecia asked her family, who was there to support her, who's mad on the inside at law enforcement because they think they are judging and mistreating their family member, Letecia, for no reason. They start helping Letecia get her stuff out of the house. So Letecia's got all these suitcases.
And so what kind of things did you guys get out of the house? Do you remember?
Suitcases and clothes, that's all I can remember.
Was it all the Harley's clothes and all of your sister's clothes?
Yes, sir.
What was the game plan? I mean, where were you going to
They
put
got-
these clothes?
They got their dogs too.
This is when the brother goes on to tell the story about him seeing Letecia move that green suitcase that had Gannon's body in it.
Yes. Did you see the defendant with a rather large suitcase?
Yes, sir. I seen her with a lot of suitcases. Well, there was a lot of suitcases on there.
Was there one that kind of stood out to you?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury about that. Why did it stand out to you?
Because it looked like she was struggling with it.
Did you offer to help her?
Yep.
What'd she say?
She didn't need help.
Did you ask her what's in the suitcase?
Yep.
What'd she say?
She told me it was softball stuff.
Why'd you ask her what's in the suitcase?
I didn't feel right about it.
What about that suitcase didn't make you feel right?
I just felt like it was too heavy for her.
Can you imagine? This brother flies there to help his sister and his nephew. And at some point, she's struggling with this green suitcase because it's so heavy. He offers to help her. Obviously, he was a gentleman. He said he didn't feel right about it. It was too heavy. She says, no, I don't need your help. Stop. And then he's like, what's in that? And she says, softball equipment. Now looking back, he's realizing that was literally her dragging her stepson's body. He offered to help move it for her while he's there to protect her while she's literally dragging. The thought of that alone, you guys, and it obviously is still bothering this man to this day because he can't even hardly talk about it without breaking down. And I would be the same way. That is wild. And Letecia's literally sitting up there. She's so selfish. This is my opinion. She is very selfish. She is sitting there putting these people through this trial, trying to get not guilty by a moment or a reason of insanity. And it's just so selfish. And she is so calculated. And I'm going to tell you more about what I think about that at the end as we get through these other people. Now, the medical examiner got up there to testify. And I'm not going to go through all the gruesome details because they are gruesome. But what I will tell you is that Gannon, he was hurt so much more than we even could have imagined. We knew that there were 18 stab wounds. We knew that his skull had been crushed like a cracked egg. We knew that he had been shot. and that it went through his chin up into his skull. We knew that he bled out. We knew that he had defensive wounds. He had burns on him, which is what is leading me to my current theory about what happened, but I'll tell you guys at the end. But he had burns on. This baby really suffered. And she could tell by the medical examination that he was alive for a long time through a lot of that. And he fought and fought and fought for his life. There are no words. But another interesting fact that we found out was that they found opioids in his liver, which means somebody gave him something, and the somebody is allegedly Letecia.
What is the purpose of doing a toxicology report?
We do it in all violent deaths, and it's to determine whether there were any drugs or what drugs were in the system.
Was that performed on Gannon Stauch?
Yes.
Was there anything unusual detected in Gannon Stauch at the time of autopsy?
There were some drugs, or there was a drug that was present.
Okay, so let's talk.
He also had hydrocodone in the liver tissue.
All right, so let's talk about hydrocodone. What is hydrocodone?
Hydrocodone is a narcotic analgesic. It's a drug used for pain.
Was it unusual, in your opinion, to find hydrocodone in a child of 11 years old, like we did here in Gannon's death?
Yes, I found it unusual.
And then the last little part before I get into my opinion or my theory on what I think happened as of me filming this video. It could change when more evidence comes out, but this woman called a fake polygraph place to get a fake polygraph test. Now listen to this, you guys. And the fact that she's literally getting up there and trying, I mean, I get it. She's thinking, what do I have to lose? But it just shows you even more just how selfish she is, even after everything, even after being in jail for 3 years, sitting in there and having time to think. You have not had any kind of come to Jesus. Like, the least I could do is not put this family through all of this and this trial and Anyways, she went online to fakepolygraph.com, y'all. That is literally the name of it, fakepolygraph.com, and took and paid for a fake polygraph test, put her own questions in there, and all of the questions about did she hurt her stepson. Well, she was supposed to get the results, fake polygraph, emailed to her. So she calls the guy or calls the company.
We have already sent the results to your email account.
I don't have them. Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay, let me try resending that, and if you don't receive it, give us a call back.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you now. Bye-bye.
And they said, oh, we already sent them to you. She says, I didn't get it. He said, okay, I'm going to send it to you. It's going to take 15, 20 minutes. You're going to get the results. She calls back.
Hello, how can I help?
Hi, yes, I'm calling again. I still didn't get that email.
Okay, can I ask your name, please?
It's last name Stauch, S-T-A.
Right, yes, perfect. I can see here.
You told me 10, 15 minutes, and you said it again. I still don't have it.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, it's actually been blocked by management, this order, due to the content of the questions, so we're not going to be able to send this report.
Okay. So, do I get my money back?
Unfortunately, not on this case, no. Obviously, due to our terms and conditions, it does clearly state that any sort of illegal activities or anything like that, obviously the management do reserve the right not to send the report. Obviously, we do incur processing fees, so that's why a refund wouldn't be due.
So what do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep money?
Yes, we would do indeed.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Can you guys imagine what she was thinking in that moment? Oh, I'm going to tell you what she was thinking in a second. But she's like, oh, crap. So what happened was she took the fake polygraph test. She paid for it. She's waiting for the results. She calls them. She thinks they're sending them to her. And this is when they tell her, wait a minute. Upper management stopped this polygraph result because of the questions. Can you imagine this company putting this through where she's asking questions? Did I kill my stepson? Did I have anything to do with him missing? That right there ought to be a red flag. They ought to send that right to the police department. Like, I don't know why this person is trying to get a fake polygraph results for this. And she tried to be smart by mixing it in with the adultery or did she cheat on her husband type of questions, because when she got off the phone with him, then she thought about it for a minute and probably thought, oh crap. The reason why they have these phone calls is because the police had her phone tapped. So they were recording every call going in and out, and they're listening to this. Can you believe this? I mean, dumbest criminal of the freaking decade at this point. She really thought she was going to manipulate her way out of everything. She was going to hand in a fake polygraph test. Did she think that they wasn't even going to call to verify where this polygraph test came from? Anyways, so she thinks about it for a minute and she calls back and she tries to manipulate the man on the phone. Listen to this.
Hi, how can I help?
I did it hang up.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I can hear you now. How can I help you?
Okay. I talked to you earlier and you said that the request I did was blocked or something, but I looked on the terms and conditions and it says you can say things about like infidelity and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how that was blocked.
Say that again, sorry, that you can or can't.
No, okay, so I did a report earlier and you said you would send it to me. Then when I called back, you said it was blocked, that I wasn't allowed to get the report. But then I clicked the terms and conditions and it says you can do questions about infidelity and stuff like that.
Yes, infidelity you can, correct.
Right, and that's what I did.
Your report was about infidelity, was it?
What did you say?
So you're saying your report was about infidelity?
Yeah, like I put questions in for it and you had to put like answers and you said something about it being blocked.
Yes, so what were your questions?
So it was about during the time that we were away inside of in another state that I talked to, and I gave the person's individual's name, Ortega. That was one of them. Then it said, "Are your eyes blue?" And I did a couple of the questions that were on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure in that case. Unfortunately, that's not what came through. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's happened there then.
Because I read that you can do this. Yeah, it says on it that you can do that.
Yeah, you would be able to about infidelity, but the questions that were submitted for your order were not to do with infidelity.
Yeah, I didn't submit questions that were not to do with infidelity.
Okay. All right. See, well, I'll have to look into that then in that case.
I mean, can you believe her? She literally tries to tell the guy, "Oh, it was about me cheating." She was, oh my, it's unreal. And just that portion alone right there, if I was on the jury, which I would have already been like, she's guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. Just that portion alone right there will tell you that she knew what she was doing and she was trying still to cover it up. Because see, in the opening statements by the defense, they say that the reason why she did this was because she thought she was fighting demons of her abusive childhood. And she thought that Gannon was a demon.
Or the person that she was killing that day, attacking. That wasn't Gannon. It wasn't Gannon to her. Wake up that day and go, I'm going to kill him. No. She was killing the demons. Her life from the dark depths of her childhood and her life.
Okay. I actually don't even think that the defense believes her. I think that they're not even hardly objecting to very much. I mean, there's been several witnesses that they don't even cross-examine. I think they're doing exactly what they need to do to make sure she gets a fair trial, because that is the way that we do it here in America, and that is the way it should be done. But I don't think for a second that they are fighting for her because they believe in her. I think that they are, this is just what I'm guessing. I don't know. This is my very unprofessional opinion. I think they're doing their job at this point, and it's got to be difficult for them. Now, to wrap this up with my theory at this point, what do I think happened? First of all, I think she was abusing Gannon for a lot longer than we even know from that recording where she was manipulating him about him spilling the candle wax on the floor and him saying he was burned, and she shushed him when he said he was concerned about his burns. I actually think she was abusing him in one way or another, if not just mental abuse, because I know she was doing it to her husband and she was doing it to everybody. I mean, they even said that she worked at a school, which is, again, another thing that's scary. She worked at a school and she didn't get along with her boss, the principal, because she thought she was more educated and more fit for the job. Like, she's one of them. Like, she's the smartest one in the room. She's better than everybody else. She can't get along with anybody. She ain't got no friends. Her best friend is her daughter, because her daughter had been probably manipulated by her whole entire life. And now here she is with these two children that are her stepchildren. So I think that she had been abused before. And I think that this night, I think she burned him. Gannon had real burns on him. I think she burned him. I think she snapped, and she was already resentful against him because he loved his mama. He was a mama's boy. She couldn't manipulate him like she did her daughter and Gannon's little sister. I think she burned him, and I think it got worse and worse. I think that's when she gave him the opioids. And this is, again, you guys, I'm just pulling this out of my own opinions from watching the trial. I think that's when she gave him the drugs or the pills or whatever she gave him to maybe see if she could, manipulate her way out of it. And when she realized it was too bad, she started coming up with another plan. Okay, I'm just going to kill him, and I'm going to say he was kidnapped or he ran away, and I'll hide his body. Well, then when all the heat got on her, then she came up with another story, and then another story. And now this is her final story, which is that she had a lapse of psychotic break where she thought she was fighting demons, and she did this to this baby. Now, again, I want to say that I don't believe that this is the father's fault per se, because he didn't do this to his son. But I will tell you this, if I can't imagine the guilt he feels, and he will probably always feel, especially when you see all of this evidence of her and all these red flags that he either ignored or missed. And then also, I can't imagine how the biological mom feels. I know that she had some issues at the time, so, whatever. There's got to be resentment there for her to her ex-husband, Gannon's father, for him to have left them with her when you see all the red flags. Okay, this is not a case where the stepmom was a perfect stepmom and there were no red flags. There were major, major, major red flags. And I just, after seeing it all and seeing that they were ignored, it's just, I can't imagine how these parents feel. I mean, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but dang near every single night when I put my son to bed and he's asleep, I shoulda, coulda, woulda in my head. Man, did I listen to him long enough when he was talking today? Did I pay attention? Should I played Beyblades with him just a little bit longer? Oh, I could have sat there for 5 more minutes and pulled that thing. Like I do that all the time. The shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And tomorrow I'm gonna read the book with him just a little bit longer, right? I only say that to say that I would think that they're doing that too, and I just can't imagine how difficult that is for this sweet boy. And he was a sweet boy. So what do you guys think so far? Other than the fact that I think that she is just absolutely disgusting for even bringing the family through this far, thinking that she's got one last hoorah to try to manipulate this jury. It's unreal. It's scary. Y'all talk to your children. Make sure your children feel comfortable enough coming to you if they have an issue with an adult, especially if it's an adult that they know that you love. I mean, we all know that some kids are, going to have a chip on their shoulder to certain people and or maybe they feel jealous of a new spouse or somebody. But we have to make sure we are all communicating with our children and that they know that they're safe and they feel that they're safe. I love you guys. I will see y'all on Friday in the next video. What do you guys think? Let me know down below and I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.